that's why I was waiting for it. Yeah, but don't worry, it's not on screen yet.
Sean, yeah, we're doing it after.
Oh, it's so hard to see, man.
This is you.
Thanks.
Got the professional mic set up for you. I'll give you the names. The
one in orange is grey, is Wylin. Then the one in black is Simi. Sim Ong. You have it?
You have the list?
Yeah, I have the list.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks. So for
Want to put Simi as well, is it?
yeah, like how you did yesterday. She is 5 to 8.
Yeah, I should put the top seat.
Put the yeah, always I think.
Oh.
Better. Wylin, how young? Third and fourth. Wylin, Thank you. So yesterday you were supposed to share
This?
Yeah, man. So it was a big issue because we were holding it like this and talking, right? Because our production.
It's not an omnidirectional mic.
Yeah, it's not, unfortunately. So you hold on to it now.
How about you?
I'll jump in. We'll change. We'll jump in. We'll do half and half. No stress.
There isn't a handheld.
Unfortunately not. Unfortunately not. Even Saturday, getting people out of the stores at night.
Test one.
Sorry?
Wylin. Are we live?
Not yet. Are we live yet? Windows? Yes.
Right. No, I'm fine. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are here back at Kallang Squash Center. Right. And for the first match of the day, we've got two young ladies in the court. We've got Lin Ao Yong, and she's featured in orange today. She's now currently on the right hand side, and her competitor will be Sim Ong. And here we go. These two ladies are up and coming juniors now playing in the national team. Why in? Yeah. The first few points we can see actually Simi being very aggressive and taking the initiative actually to strike the ball early, and actually taking the ball early actually puts a lot of pressure. So she actually is playing a very proactive start to the game. Who's two?
Who's 1? 3-1. Who's 3?
Simi. Simi seems to be taking a strong lead in the game at 4-1. And in most games, the first game is typically always the most important game. Right, and I believe Simi would try to pull away as much as he can, or sorry, as much as she can from Yin. The ball was called out, and unfortunately for her, she has returned the service to Simi. That was a nice drive by Simi. Looking at the first couple of points in this first game, it would seem that there's still some nerves in both the young ladies. That was a very nice drop from Simi, taking it from three-quarter court and forcing Yin to actually try to rush up. There was a much better constructed point there by Simi, and actually Yin did respond pretty well. Unfortunately, on the ball, she was not there quick enough. Now Simi's at 10-3, and that was pretty fast. So it seems like this first game, right, is all quick fire. That was a really unforced error by Simi. And let's see what Yin can actually do and claw back. Can she really claw back from a 5-10 deficit in the first game? Nice volley there by Yin. The cross from Simi wasn't wide enough, and it was picked off from the sky from Yin. Double. And the first game goes to Simi. There was a last push actually there by Yin, which actually I was hoping that she would actually pick off a bit more points from Simi and actually make the first game a bit more exciting. But I personally felt that the first game was a bit short. The two girls, I think they actually have been playing regularly together in the national training scheme. But it would seem that the first game, and especially in a tournament environment, you can actually see the nerves, right? And I would actually prefer if they would have actually had gotten into the first game by slowing it a bit down, playing the balls a bit deeper, and actually creating the opportunities where it's a bit more well constructed. So hopefully in the second game, the nerves have actually settled down for both of these young ladies, and let's see whether they can really construct points more deliberately, and more intentfully. So Simi's on court pretty early, and I think it's a good sign. I think she realizes that there's some nerves that she needs to settle, and if she can settle those nerves, I think we will see a much better constructed game in the second one. And here we go. Simi leading. That was a nice burst of a loose drive. And coming back, I think Simi should actually have a bit more confidence since she has taken the first game. And frankly, I think after the first 2 points, I can see actually that both girls are actually settling down in their games. The balls are getting tighter. They're lifting the ball up. Whoa, that was a very nice volley drop from the center court, and to win that point. That was a nice drive from Simi. At this stage of the game, it looks like Simi actually is putting a bit more pressure on each strike, and the balls are coming deeper into the court. This actually is allowing her a bit more time to actually construct the point, whereas you will see Wylin actually always in the back foot trying to recover and defend. That was a nice volley drop there by Simi. And in that rally, actually, you saw Simi being the dominant attacker in the game. That was a nice volley, and it stuck to the wall. So sometimes as we play in squash, you don't really have to go for the nick. I think some of the key points is actually keeping the ball tight and making sure that you hit your targets, right? And at this point in time, I feel that actually Simi is actually hitting her targets more than Wylin. I think Wylin's trying to go for the points a bit too early. She's actually striking the ball well, but the ball's actually sitting all in the half court and the three-quarter court lines. That was a nice defensive drop. And now the game point stands at 5-all. So the second game is much clearly closer. Oh! That was a pity. Game score now is at 6-5. And if you look at this, you'll notice that most of the balls are landing short, and Simi actually came on top of that particular point. So again, like I said, I actually wish to see the girls play the balls a bit higher, with a bit more depth, right? Constructing the points in a more structured manner, versus what you're currently seeing in relation to short fires and all the balls landing in the half court. There was a nice point played by Simi. Right, attacking balls, forcing actually Wai-Yin to lift, and she lifted the ball half court, and then Simi finished it off with a punch down the backhand, the straight line. There was a nice recovery there by Wai-Yin. That bought her time to actually come back and try to dominate the tee again. And she actually won that point. So for those that are playing squash on a very regular basis, you know, sometimes when we are rushing for the shot, you know, it's very natural for any player to try to bash our way out of trouble. But what you saw Wai-Yin do when she was late to the shot, she actually lifted the ball high using the height of the court to actually buy her some time to recover back to the tee. And this is something that actually all of us can learn, and this actually helps to reset the point. And we are now at game ball at 10-8, where Simi is leading by 2 points. There was actually a very nice recovery cross-court by Wai-Yin. She was fortunate to actually anticipate the straight drive down the line. So in the second game, the game was much closer, and I think Simi had the slight advantage where she actually played more winners and less unforced errors. I think both girls are now settling down, and I hope that it's not too late for Wai-Yin. You know, I think she's got a lot of potential, she's got a lot of talent, and she's still very young. I think she's currently at 15 years old. And I think she's playing a very nice level of squash. And obviously there's always room to improve. So I hope in the third game, I mean, the coaches are not with them, so they've got to figure this out on their own, and it can be tough when you're playing the game, right? But if I were to give her some advice, I would tell her to actually take her time, right? Set up the points and play it deep so that she forces Simi to actually play defensive shots, right? Take the ball slightly earlier, but play them deep. So let's see whether Simi comes out with a new game plan in game number 3, right, and reverses the role and gets her first win, and then giving us a more exciting game. This is our B grade standard. Games are too short. The balls are landing all short. Okay, we're going to start off on the third game where Simi is actually leading 2 games to love. Okay, Simi is taking an early lead at 2 love. So Wayne was able to get that point back. So let's see. There was an unforced error in the volley. The volley wasn't very wide, so she actually had an opportunity. There was a very nice lob by Wayne. And that was actually a lob that she created an opportunity for her because it was so deep and it was so high that she didn't come off the back wall, and it forced Simi to actually play or try to dig it out with the post. I think one of the good things I see Wayne doing is that she's taking her time between points to collect herself, right? And try to actually re-establish her strategy, keep herself calm, and stay focused in the game. So these are some of the things we can also learn. That in between points, you have actually a time to actually set yourself and settle down. Especially if you've got nerves happening, right? It's a good opportunity for you to reset and rethink and recalibrate while in the point. There was a very well structured point there by Wayne, right? She was actually more aggressive. She took the ball earlier, forcing Simi to actually be more on a defensive posture. Oh, that was an awesome shot from 3/4. She drove it down into the forehand corner. Oh, that was a wonderful volley drop there by Simi. It seems that actually seems to be her sweet spot. So it's something that I think Wayne should try to stay away from, allowing her to actually play those points that she's so comfortable with. The game now stands at 7-6. It's much closer, right? So let's hope that actually Wayne is able to... Oh! That was another unforced error. 2 mistakes now currently on the forehand volleys. In the last rally, actually, I actually enjoyed that one because they were actually taking their time to actually hunt for the opportunity, right? Where actually they were playing the alleys down the back wall, keeping the ball deep. When the opening came, right, Wayne actually went for the shot, and she was rewarded with a point. There was a very nice rally there by both girls, right? They were effectively running from corner to corner. They were actually making sure that they could control the ball and place the ball well. That was a nice drop. She was there early. She took the ball on the rise, and Simi wasn't ready actually, anticipating the drop. That was a nice low drive. And Simi actually came back. I'm sorry. Wai Yin actually came back to win the game. And now the game score stands at 2 to Simi and 1 to Wai Yin. I think if Wai Yin actually maintains her posture and her calmness in like what we saw in the third game, I think we'll be seeing a nice fourth game, right? So I think if Wai Yin is able to come out and keep the ball deep, forcing Simi to actually play a weak boast, I think she's fast enough to finish the ball early, and we saw a couple of those in the third game. I think while the girls are resting, right, I think Simi is in a position where she's trying to figure out what she has to do to actually win on the fourth. I think in her position she wouldn't want to drag the game to 5 setters unless she knows that physically she's able to treat Wai Yin and win on the fifth. But I think she looks like she's moving well in most of the games, actually in all 3 games. I think if she can force Wai Yin to actually lift the ball where she's strong on the volleys, I think she'll win a lot of her points off the volleys and force Wai Yin to defend. On the other hand, I think for Wai Yin, she may have to figure a game plan where it actually forces Simi to play at the waist, play it deep, because she's been winning points where Simi is trying to play the ball quick, right, and playing the ball short, right, and I think she needs to keep it off Simi's volleys. And if she does have to lob it, she's got to lob it really high. So the angle of attack when the ball is coming down is really steep. So that makes it very difficult for somebody who's strong on the volleys. We now move into the fourth game. The game score stands at 2-1 to Simi, with Wai Yin serving on the fourth. That was a nice cross-court drive there by Simi. Very well weighted, and the ball was dying in the back. Oh, that was a very nice volley to the forehand corner. Oh, that was a very nice drop as well from Wai Yin. Game score at 2-all in the initial part of the fourth game. Stroke. Unfortunately, Wai Yin was not able to get to the boast, a defensive boast. I don't think she expected it. I think she was expecting it to go down the line. Oh, and there you go. Simi using her strength in the volleys to actually win more points. That was a nice volley drop. So generally, right, if you don't play the cross courts wide enough, the opponent who dominates the tee or is standing at the tee is able to play an aggressive volley drop, which actually forces you to rush, right? Oh, that was very unfortunate for Wai-Yin, where the pickup from Simi actually caught her frame and she spun the ball to the front. You know, I think as we come to the business end of the fourth game, I think the nerves are starting to show one more time. The two girls are actually missing on their volleys, which for me are actually not really called for, and serving it out. These are actually signs of nerves. Oh, that was really good effort from Wai-Yin. Nice volley drive there, very aggressive, pushing the angle wide, forcing Simi to actually stretch out. And we are getting closer to the business end of the fourth game, and Simi is now leading by 1 point. There was a very nice recovery from Wai-Yin with the cross-court drop shot, landing it really short, giving her the point. It's getting really exciting now at 9-all. This is where really the player who's able to actually contain their nerves, right, will actually stand out. And we are now at 10-9. Oh, and with that winning shot from Wai-Yin, it's now at 10-all. This fourth game is becoming exciting, ladies and gentlemen. Now it's about who wants this more. That was really unfortunate for Wai-Yin. She shouldn't have stopped playing. You know, the rule of thumb in squash, if the referee doesn't call it, you continue playing the shot. Oh, sorry, you continue playing the point. Oh! And Simi actually won the game 3-1, with the final point being a mistake from Wai-Yin in the front or the back court corner with a drop shot. And I think the beauty about it is these two girls actually put their heart and their soul all out on the court. Congratulations to the finalists, the third and fourth place of of this tournament.
These two will be Marcus is a tactician. So Tim is also he needs the ball them away. So this match was again interesting because both of them are both they are shot makers. So this one is gonna be like, wow, it's all mental. Yeah, so actually the third and fourth were much better. Actually the fourth game I felt they were all but it all came down to who wanted it more. It was unfortunate actually I felt that even where they were at 10, right? And Wayin called it down. The referee didn't say anything, she stopped. That was a mistake. She could have reached the ball. Yeah. But she stopped. For me, that was a decider. Pivotal moment. Yeah. That was the decider. No man, I haven't played for a month. I got my booster jab early of mid of November, so the 3rd of September. And then I was down for 2 days. Yeah, I got fever and stuff. Everything was hunky-dory. I took it on Tuesday, and then the next following Tuesday, my girlfriend got COVID. Then, because we were together, right? Then I
Marcus won. India 5-2. Age 7-2. Anything you want?
my pleasure. So just only this way I started to pick up. Then it's so painful, right?
It's painful.
Yeah.
I took a break. For 5 days, 6 days. Happy also. Because yesterday I slept very well. Just for this pain on the center of this sternum.
That was a good call. The most chicken. That was a good call. drill was that?
This is the post top drive.
Alright, okay.
It really doesn't like it.
Yeah. So generally when I do drills, my warm-up is goes cross-court drive. So it goes cross-court drive, drive, goes. Then you drive, straight drive, and then it goes again. So the diagonals and
Okay, so post.
it goes cross-court drive, straight drive,
And then
goes.
post.
So that's the warm-up.
What's fascinating is that I just do drills.
I think drills are better for us.
It's more predictable.
Yeah, and
Less
it's,
twisting.
yeah, exactly. It's not so damaging on the knees. When you get a workout, you get stronger.
My knee, my right knee and left hip is. One day I think it'll just break into it.
And it's on the opposite side.
Can't we play so hard?
It's the mind.
It's like that. And so hard and so long. I said, look at this shirt. This is what it looks like. I said, now after it, I said, feel my shirt. It's finished. This is what your shirt should feel like. That's when you know you work hard. Not little bit of sweat out here. Dry away. Now work hard, my friend.
But squat does that to us. Dripping wet. These two guys got a very good Tiong has a poker face. Marcus also has a poker face. You want to take this one?
Yeah, it's not really changed. And for those of you just joining us at the Kalang Squash Center, we have the men's nationals third and fourth placing game. This actually would be in many ways equally exciting as the final because of the quality of players that we have and the type of players we have. Both Marcus, who are the number 2 seed, and Timothy Leong in the 5 to 8 bracket. Both are tremendous shot makers. Both are extremely thoughtful strategists, and you know, it's going to be really interesting. You know, Sean, we've talked about how you know, squash is like a game of chess. I think if ever we're going to see that happen, it's going to be today.
You know, Mohit, I think you're absolutely right. We've got two really senior players on the court. Marcus obviously being the older of the two. But though these two players have you know, put on the Singapore colours numerous times in their career. And I've seen them actually play since the days when they were really young, when they were juniors. And these are the two boys that I really enjoy watching. You know, they're both very extremely good tacticians. Marcus is you know, someone who really is able to understand his opponents, you know, their strengths, their weaknesses, and how he strategizes against his opponents. On Timothy's side, Timothy is you know, he's really good with his hands. You know, wherever he wants the ball to go, he's able to bring that ball or place the ball wherever he wants to place. And he's sharp on his days, and he's a danger man, right? So this is going to be really an exciting game, right? And I think everyone who's viewing this from Kallang, which is pretty sparse because of COVID, and for those who are actually watching it live from home, or even if you actually take it on a delayed telecast, I think you guys are going to enjoy this game. And actually Marcus starts off there with one of his really favorite shots, which is the backhand boast. We are now standing at 2-love with Marcus leading, and typically you won't actually see most top players or even players at our senior level start off with multiple boasts in the game, especially in the first game. But what I saw is Marcus playing the boast very early in the points, and I think he's actually seeing whether Timothy's physical shape is at 100% for today's game. You know, leading up to this game, Marcus had actually one of a very tough game against Aaron, which lasted almost an hour. You know, and for Tim, he was challenged, I think, in the quarterfinals with Mantong, and that also happening close to the hour mark. So these two boys, these two guys, have been really tested coming up to this third and fourth placing. So as when you are not a professional player where you're playing full time, you know, those kind of games can really take a toll on your body. And I think each of them are just going to try to exploit that area of the game, the physical aspect of the game. And I think Marcus is starting early in the first game to actually test that physical aspect of the game. Oh, that was a working boast there by Marcus. Unfortunate there for Timothy, where the ball actually hit. Oh, there was a shot there. Marcus actually took the first game in a zippy, right? And like I said, I think he's really testing Timothy's physical aspects in the third and fourth placing for this game.
Sean, that certainly wasn't something we were expecting to see in the first game, but you know, it was peppered with some incredible touch play from Marcus. You know, I mean, we saw that match at the game ball, and you know, it was a really soft, nice touch from Timothy, and then you know, Marcus's counter drop was just something extremely special, very, very hard, because it almost died off the, you know, off the floor itself. But he's really an interesting player, because what he does is he cuts off so many balls out, you know, in the air, and he gives himself so many options. He can go with the boast, which is a pet shot of his. He can go to the front corner. He doesn't try and kill it in the front corner. If you've noticed, he keeps his opponent guessing, plays it late, or he can go deep down the line, and he plays the line very well. It's very difficult for any of his opponents to really deal with that.
I think Mohit, you said it spot on. Marcus actually has a lot of varieties in his ammunition pouch, and actually he's using it to actually test every aspect of actually Timothy's game, both not only physically, but at the same time stretching him on his skill sets. And you just saw an increase in acceleration and pace there by Marcus, putting Timothy under so much pressure to try to dig it out and get there before the ball actually dies off in the backcourt. I think Marcus is going to change his tactics in the game. I think he's going to increase the pace and then get Tim to start guessing what's going to happen in the second game.
You know, I think we saw a much more dominant rally from Timothy in the point before this, and you know, I think that's what he needs to do. He needs to take time away from Marcus, because if he gives Marcus time, Marcus really gives himself way too many options.
And I think as we move into the second game, Marcus is still sticking to his game plan of trying to actually take the balls early and taking time away from Timothy, whilst Timothy is also trying to do the same to Marcus. There was a very nice recovery there from Timothy. This point is being very well played and very well constructed by both players. Oh, and that was unfortunate for Marcus, making an unforced error on the backhand drop shots. You know, at this level of play, you know, when the balls are loose and you give any of these two gentlemen here a chance to actually attack on the shot, they are going to go for it, because they know and they have so much confidence in their shot. They know actually where they want to play the shot and how deep they want to play the shot.
That wasn't very pretty. Marcus really didn't do much with that volley drop, and maybe that surprised Timothy, but that's an unforced error and he'd want that back. Oh, that's lovely. Just a beautiful late boast. You know, it kind of dribbles onto the front wall and just kind of dies. It's so slow, so deceptive. And just like that, he's 7-2 up. Just, you know, that's just the pressure shown from, you know, from how Marcus moves on court. You know, no matter what you do with the ball, he reads it so well. You know, it's so hard to trick a player like him. And just like that, it's 9-2. It's, you know, he's running away with this game, yeah. Nice drive down the line by Timothy. He held that just a little bit. That was one time that Marcus didn't read it. The ball going into the front wall, side wall corner, ducking out awkwardly. Marcus couldn't react in time. And 5-9, a bit of a mini comeback here. Let's see if he can sustain this. Lovely, lovely volley drop into the nick. 10-5. not up. Lovely boast. 6-10. So Timothy hanging in there. Still got 4 game balls that he needs to defend against. And just didn't see that, and with that Marcus goes up 2 games to love. And Sean, one of the interesting things about the Marcus that we're seeing, he keeps complaining about the fact that he's only 34, and he's sore from yesterday's game. But what's really exciting about the way he plays is it's not just his reading of the ball, but his ability to suddenly accelerate. Even when he's out of position, to suddenly find that extra step. He doesn't need to do it all the time, and he doesn't do it all the time. So it's almost like he's efficiently conserving energy for those bursts of speed that are needed for those times when he's just out of position, perhaps.
Mohit, I think your observations are really spot on, and I think it's in my view, actually, I think it's a lot to do with experience. That where he's won his national cap quite a number of times. He's been playing since the junior days. He's been doing international events. He's also played with players of much higher standards, and those players have done it to him. So I think you're right. He actually conserves his energy for the right time and for the right shot to try to put his opponent under as much pressure as possible, so that he's actually on the upper hand on the next shot. And I think Marcus doesn't play casual shots, especially in tournaments. And when he has an opportunity to keep the pressure on, he keeps the pressure on throughout until he has to defend. And I think it applies to both boys. I'm actually seeing it in both the boys. When they have an opportunity, they don't play casual shots, because this is even if it's a 3rd and 4th placing game, I think they're both really professional about it.
Now, just interestingly, Sean, what I noticed at the end of the second game, if you take a look, Marcus was up, what was it, 6-1, 7-2 or something like that, and he's won that 10-6. So if you take a look at how the second half of the game actually worked out, Timothy has stayed level with him, and it'll be interesting to see how this third game really pans out if Tim can actually stay with him.
So I think, Mohit, you're right. I think Timothy actually saw some cracks in Marcus's game in game number 2, where even though Marcus was leading and had a substantial lead, Timothy was able to actually claw back point for point in the later stage of the game. Oh, that's another wonderful working boast there by Marcus, and this is one of his pet shots. Where he really moves the opponent. And it's a really painful shot to actually get to. And I think, Mohit, that's where you're saying, Marcus all of a sudden can inject pace into the point and into rally. And he does it at the most appropriate times, where he needs to lift or he needs to strike, just like that.
I think another message here for the juniors, especially the really young juniors, and is not just his acceleration, but if you take a look at Marcus when he plays, Sean, what's exciting about him is he can accelerate, and yet he can put the brakes on to stop, balance, and hit the shot. And I think that's really the key. I think that's what makes him so special. There are many people who can accelerate, but very few who can stop themselves after 1 or 2 strides of that level of acceleration and be in a position of balance to be able to play that. And I think that's what Marcus does extremely well.
I agree with you, but I know, and I like to add on to that. And I think if you look at both profiles, you realize that Marcus is really slim and is really light, and I think that's one of his advantages. And if you take a look at Tim, he's actually shorter, and he's a bit more of a sturdy player. But the fundamentals of both of them, actually, they are very stable when they take the shots. And the point I'm trying to say is that actually, with the physique of both players, both of them have different strengths in the game, and you can actually see very distinctive styles between Marcus and Timothy because of their physique, right?
What a deceptive boast that was, and just like that, he's 7-2 up. But that boast was really deceptive. It looked like he could go down the line, and he just held it, and Timothy was just caught flat-footed. It's not that he had, if he had seen that, it's not like he would have had any trouble getting that, but he just didn't read it. And with that, it's hand out, 3-7. Oh, that's down. 8-3. I think one of the things that, though these players know each other very well, I think one of the things that Timothy is struggling with is what do you do with a player like Marcus? What's the right strategy? What do you do? And right now, it's just not coming together for him. He's overthinking a lot of what's going on out there on the court, and just not able to string together any kind of. Should say that more often for him, because just like that, he plays probably the best shot he's played all evening. It's down. 5-9. So a bit of what we saw in the second game. Timothy mounting a kind of a mini comeback, if you will. He just works the width of that court. Even, we talked about his boast. You talked about how difficult it is. It's not a 3-wall boast, it's a 2-wall boast, but it stretches you right, till it actually hurts. There you go, another. What a wonderful game that was. I mean, just a masterclass, wasn't it? I mean, so much, just a masterclass for not just Timothy Leong on court, but for all of us watching it.
No, ladies and gentlemen, I think even though it was just 3 games, I think in those 3 games, you could see the skill level of these two gentlemen. The touches, the pace, the variations in game tactics, using height, using punch, and the drop shots using top spins. I think you name it, you could have seen almost every shot in the book, except a skid boast. So that was an exciting second game for third and fourth placing for the men's in the Marigold National Championships. We now go to a break, and we're going to see the ladies' finals coming up soon. See you soon.
just nice that he has to use that extra energy just to get to the shot. It's the ladies. Let me give it to you. Here you go. Walian. Gracious. Gracious just came back. She was actually taking a lot of effort into her studies. So she started the national training. She's got a spirit.
Yeah, she's very.
So actually for me, right? Yeah. And she played, I think, 2 PAC satellite tournaments.
So she did that.
Sisters giving each other a hug. I think that if one
Spends a lot of time.
I felt that because now Wajin is the younger sister is still young.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think she's all the shots. Yeah, the defense should grow. For me, Gracia is tenacious. It's very tenacious. She's got the inner drive to win and to finish the shot. Whereas Marian is a mover of the ball. Marian's game is more of a wait for the mistake. Whereas Gracia is a bit more aggressive. I'm gonna walk my legs a bit.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
then he's in a live broadcast. He's with his friend.
Hello. Yes. Hi, Vivek. Hey, Shaya, what's up? You need to call my. You need to call. You need to call my mom. I mean, his mom. Call his mother.
Marigold 2021 Women's Open Final. Previous one, sir.
All right, and so we're underway with the women's national finals. Gracious serving to the number 1 seed and gets off with a 1-love start. Lovely line. Slight miss hit on the volley, but drops well for Wyan. Perhaps early nerves for her. She's only just arrived from Bristol, where she's been training. She's played a couple of PSA challenges too. So she's in Bristol, where she goes to university, but that's also where the Shobagi brothers so settling down quickly enough, and Wyan now 3-2 up. If she looks back at that again, she'll probably want the volley. It's a lovely shot. Super drive, a lot of pace on it. Wyan unable to control the ball on that occasion. Oh, that's just well played. Extremely tenacious. And from 6-3 down, she's now 5-6 within striking distance. Using the width of the court extremely well. Going down the line, 7-5 to the number 1 seed. That's a lovely post.
Now,
6-7.
now, 7.
Another lovely line, extremely tight to the side wall, 8-6. Volley drop, 9-6. That's such a high quality rally, and really anybody's point. Such a high quality rally, but with that takes the number 1 seed to game point. 4 game points, in fact. 4 game balls. And she needs just 1, and shown really high quality of game here. Both these girls are, you had mentioned earlier how tenacious the number 2 seed is, and it's, she's actually showing that tenacity right now on court. The number 1 seed has won this game, but she has her hands full.
I'm Mohit. Sorry I wasn't around for the better part of the game. No, but watching the last couple of points, I think it's a final, and I think these 2 girls are really putting their heart into the game. And watching the last point, actually, last 2 points or 3 points is very well constructed. I think, but I feel that YN is really, stepping it up, having more control over the points than actually Gracia is. But Gracia, being the tenacious person, keeps the ball coming back, and she actually in some of the rallies she actually reset the point a couple of times. And actually that's the kind of level of squash you want to see, for finals, or even in future squash games that we are trying to create here in Singapore, and especially getting the juniors up into the game. So actually seeing Gracia in the finals with YN, a senior and a junior, I think that's what we want to see in the future a lot more. And that's going to promote, the juniors to actually say, hey, I've got a chance, at the number 1 spot.
I think, Sean, you also make such an important point. It's something we tend to ignore, and something for the juniors to also remember when they're on court and when they're playing a point. It's not just coming out there and hitting the ball as hard as you can or trying to bludgeon your opponent to death. It's more about constructing that rally, being able to not just reset the point but deal with resets as well, because you control a rally and then your opponent is able to reset because you were slightly hard on the drop, and you've got to reset too. And I think that mental aspect of the game and just strategically thinking things through is something you've talked about just now, which I think is so critical to making that jump between, you know, a national level player to an international level player.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we are now into game number 2, where Wayan actually is leading 1 game to love with Gracia returning serve. Oh, that was very unfortunate. She had all the time in the world to take that shot. Very nice return of service, really low cross court, and she really hit the ball pretty well. I think in that rally, it was actually quite well constructed. And I think both of them were actually jostling for the tee and the control of the tee. It's just unfortunate that actually Rachel wasn't fast enough to clear off, and it was a let. I think if you look at the demeanor of Wayan, you know, she's bouncing around and she's, you know, I think she's sending the signal to Gracia, right? If you want this, you gotta work.
And apart from the work, you know, she's sending the signal that, look, I'm on top of my game, I'm here to play, I'm alert, I'm gonna be, you know, yeah. I mean, even that, with the unforced error, look at her, she's walking out to the front court, you know, she's not despondent, she's picking the ball up and she's figuring out, you know, okay, no big deal. Wasn't able to follow that drop. She's got back on her heels a bit. Oh, she'll take the stroke that time. (9-2), and she's just running away with this game. Sean, it's you know, she's really come out much stronger in this game. You know, nerves have clearly settled down. So a number of mishits right at the beginning of the first game, but she's making very effective use of the deep cross court as well. You know, she's making Garcia move to that side and really making very good, you know, use of the width of the court.
And with that, actually, Aoyong closes the second game at 11-2. I think what we actually saw in the second game is where Aoyong's experience actually came out much stronger. And actually, I think I observed that she was actually playing to places where Gracia wasn't very comfortable in, and it forced Gracia to actually play a high, slow shot or a very defensive shot that didn't really go very deep. and Aoyong kept the pressure going without really trying to finish the shot, but really placing the shot, forcing Gracia to continuously play the point. And when you are continuously playing a point, generally you tend to get frustrated, and you are trying to figure out, what am I going to do to actually get back into a controlling position, right? And so I feel Gracia at this point in time is really always on the defensive and trying to figure it out. Whereas Wyan in the second game, you can clearly see that she's actually moving Gracia, and every shot she plays has a clear intent, to move her to the right, play the drop in the front, or even to stretch her to the corners, playing the high lobs, even though they are not attacking, but they're just out of a comfort zone, and that's creating a lot of discomfort for Gracia.
So here's the question, Sean. What does Gracia need to do in order to really come back? Would it be that she now needs to reset in a sense and be the aggressor? I think that's, she's got to take the game away from Wyan, and just in my playbook, when you're in a situation that she's in, you have to come out and you have to try and dominate. You have to try and change from being defensive to becoming the aggressor.
I mean, frankly speaking, I think watching the two ladies play, I think the experience gap and the skill gaps, I think are still too big at this point in time. I think the good thing that is going for Gracia is her mind. I think she's a fighter. I think she fights for every point. But from a point of experience and the arsenal that she has currently in the bag, I think she doesn't really have all of it to actually trouble Wyan too much. So I think if she has the mindset to actually play every point to her best and to test herself, I think she's going to gain a lot out of it. If she's going to give Wyan any trouble, the pace has to increase, at least substantially by 20-30%. At this point in time, you notice that's where Gracia is now increasing the pace, and you can see actually Wyan's ball popping out. But Wyan, again, she's now taking the rally in control, slowing it down, and playing and placing the ball.
And she's mixing it up, and on that occasion, Gracia was able to demonstrate some pace, and then she slowed it down again. And I think what she wants to do, what I would do if I were in her place, is that I'd keep a flurry of some really hard, fast balls just to unsettle, take some time away from Wyan if you can, because I think really at this stage she's got to just refigure this out. Pretty straightforward. Drop down the sidewall into the nick. She was going the wrong way there. She kind of just took her eye off the ball there for a moment. Sean, she hit the, she went for the kill. It was short, a bit flat. I think she got a bit disconcerted by that, and she was looking the wrong way, and it was easy pickings then for Wyan. That's nice. Oh, and that's even nicer. Lovely lines, sticking to the side wall, both girls. It's really hurting her, I've noticed, with the cross court right through this match. She's really made it very uncomfortable for Gracia, and the number 2 seed has just been a bit late reacting to that. 7-1, and now she's simply running away with the Sean there. You know, Gracia seems to be out of options at this stage.
So I think Gracia, I think she's still putting her heart into the game. Like you know, we discussed. I think she doesn't have the arsenal to really trouble Ao Yen at this stage, but I think she's got a lot of years ahead of her. And if she really keeps this up, I think in a couple of years you'll see a different player altogether. For me, I think what is really good is that at her age, in the finals, you actually see a level of maturity in the game, where she's really trying to actually create the point, you know, playing different heights. So I think moving forward, if she can create a bit more pace, a bit more arsenal into the game, like if you see Wyan, she uses the heights. She punches the ball low, forcing you to go up and down, you know. Whereas versus Gracia, where she plays a constant height and she doesn't really play the aggressive down the lines. So there's still lots of learning for her, and I think this experience for her is going to be really good for her future. And we continue to see Gracia's tenacious heart for every point. You know, and this is one of those kind of players that you've got to worry about in the future. You know, it's a future kind of Paul Cole, I'm not gonna die on the ball kind. And with that low kill, cross-court low kill, Wyan's able to finish the game in three games.
I think one of the things I've seen in Wyan's game just now, actually, you know, which perhaps she's developed, she's using her body to conceal that kill extremely well, you know, and I think she's doing it much better now than she was doing it before. Yeah. All right. With that, let's hear from our sponsors, and we'll be back with the men's finals. I think somewhere deep down, he was a lot hungrier than Tim was because of what happened last year. You know? Who does it with Aaron? Yeah, I played with him a few times when he was much younger. Huh?
He was playing for SICC and I was playing for
Yeah, very good kid. I hope they start now. They should, because
they publicize the times then. They publicize the times.
3-4.
Samuel is 1.
1.
Last year, right?
No, last year was Sam and Marcus. No?
That was the second competition.
Yeah. Marcus, what's your prediction? Three-love. All right, and Sean and I are going to step aside for this, the last of our matches this evening. Yeah. Of course, it's. And we have a special commentator with us in the in the studio, Marcus Hua, the number 2 seed, who's just come off an incredible victory. And before we get started, and he lost in 5 to Aaron yesterday, who's in the final. So getting him to talk about these two will be extremely interesting. Marcus, with your prediction, it's time for you to take over for me.
Thanks, Mohit, for having me. This is my first time commentating, so go easy on me, right?
So Marcus, you obviously know both their games extremely well. You played Samuel many times. You played him in the final last year, and you played Aaron yesterday. How what are we going to see this evening?
Well, I think everyone knows Skunk's game really well. He's a very consistent player. Even on his bad day, he's going to be playing at 8 out of 10 of his capabilities. Aaron, underdog, different story from yesterday. He probably wanted to turn the result to his favor as compared to last year. So today, no pressure on Aaron. But then again, I like to see how he does, how he feels physically today, because he knows playing against Skunk. Samuel is playing like a pro all the time, right? You gotta put in 5 good shots in one rally, structure it well before you get an opening. So I'd like to see whether Aaron is ready for that mentally. And it's going to be a long one, right? So Aaron needs to stay in the rally for as long as he can. At this level against a pro like Skunk, he can't expect to win a rally off one shot. He's got to put in 3 or 4 good shots before he gets a point, right? So let's see. A classic Skunk rally over there, putting a good length, tight hitting to the back before picking off the tee. Good use of height there by Samuel to reset the rally. It's getting tough. You see, even if Samuel misses that volley, his racket preparation is there. It's kind of showing his opponent that, anything loose, I'm going to be there to cut off. So even though he misses it, but it puts a lot of pressure mentally on Aaron, right? So a tough rally, you know, Aaron, you know, being fit, he's got to stay in there as long as he can. Great lob by Samuel. You know, Samuel his obvious strength is that he's really fit, but you know, I think his lobs are really underrated because using his lobs, it's not just a defensive shot, he uses it as an attacking shot to get himself in front of the opponent again. So Aaron missing that forehand volley, I thought he could have taken it at this level. See, Samuel is always very, very proactive at the tee. So that's really short. He could have put in a wider angle right to the corner over there. Good lob by Aaron, trying to slow it down a bit. He misses that volley. I thought he should have taken it on that volley. Good pressure by Aaron. You know, I feel that I like to see him taking that volley when he has the chance at the tee. Something that Samuel will be doing, you know.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you, Marcus. I think you know, if he's able to get a, you know, pick off the ball earlier, he might surprise Samuel out in front. And I think that's sometimes when you can win a few points from Samuel. And I think he's got to do a lot more of that. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I think Aaron's got to take some chances, right? You know, the longer the rally drags, he will be at a disadvantage. Not asking him to go too short too early, but you know, when the racket is when Samuel plays a slightly not so wide cross, you know, that is an opportunity to take control of the rally, which he's not really doing as well as Samuel. Slightly loose on that one. Defend, yep, good length. See, Samuel's crosses are really wide. Getting messy. Can Aaron do something over here? Good, take control of the rally. That's a poor shot, I think. Great rally by Aaron. So I think that's a rally that Aaron needs to play consistently. It was 3 or 4 shots to move Samuel out of position before having that one good opportunity to put the ball away. So mentally he got to realize that he has to structure the rally a lot better, playing a pro like Samuel. So that's not wide enough. So Samuel is in control after rally, playing a very nice weighted straight drive, but uncharacteristic error by Samuel over there. Maybe the pressure is getting to him. Aaron is staying with him well. Good deep drive over there.
That's true, Marcus. In fact, we've all heard how hard Aaron's been working on his game, right? And I wonder if that's playing on Samuel's mind, right? Because at the end of the day, the longer Aaron can just stay with him, the pressure starts to shift, right? And it starts to tell. Now, we know Samuel can handle pressure. It's not that he can't. But really, you know, in a crunch situation, when you've got someone who's relatively younger than you, who's going to improve, you know, month on month, a little bit more than you will, that pressure will start to tell, especially since they haven't played each other in a while.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I think Samuel is not taking Aaron lightly. You know, he's putting a lot of work at trainings. But I think Samuel still has that experience and that fitness to kind of hold him off. But I think it's a good opportunity for Aaron to show what he can do, whether he's getting closer to Samuel. Good, nice straight length by Samuel over there. Both players chipping it down the backhand wall. Good rally by Aaron. A bit too short by Aaron. Really good rally over here. Both players keeping it tight. Great defensive shot by Samuel, just keeping it tight off the volley of Aaron, even though he was looking for it. I think you can see Aaron's tee position is getting slightly further back. You know, it's getting, I think it's going to be a let. Yeah, good call. I think it's a good call by the ref. You know, you want to see the players playing the ball as much as they can. Great shot by Aaron. I think that was a good capitalize on that poor post by Samuel. I think Samuel is such a steady player, so you know, when you put in some flicks here and there, it really troubles Samuel. But easy to say because it's hard to get that opportunity off Samuel, right? So I think that was a good shot selection from Aaron to throw that in, you know, when he has the chance. Going for the 3 wobbles. Great rally, good weighted cross court there. Good weighted straight. He has to cover when he plays that boast from the front, right? You know, when you play a shot like that, the next follow-up shot that Samuel can do can be all 4 corners of the court. So when you play that kind of shot, and you have to be able to recover. So I think his shot selection over there from Aaron that can be a little bit better. Maybe a simple straight drop will be good. No let, I think. Great call by the referee. I think it was a good call. I think it was a minimal interference, you know, when and yeah, you know, when Aaron played a really tight drop, you just can't let the opponent get out of it by a simple let, right? Aaron is slowly coming back and keeping this set competitive. Oh, great tight shot by Samuel. Oh. Great weighted length by Samuel over there.
10-5, game ball.
I think the pressure is building up on Aaron. I think every time when he goes for that boast, he's really hoping to catch the nick. Oh, good get. I think there's gonna be a no let. Oh. Lucky to get away with a let on that by Aaron. Aaron trying to be a lot more attacking. Maybe it's because it's 10-5. Great shot. Great shot by Samuel.
Yeah. So should have 2%. Yeah. I join you. So normally I will do this. So Marcus, actually after seeing the first game, it would seem that Aaron really put in quite a lot of effort, but I think he's going to look at how is he going to counter the defensive game of Skunk. And if you were his coach, right, what would you be actually? What kind of words of advice would you be giving Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm speaking to Aaron over these 2 minutes right now, I'll be asking him to throw some surprises to Samuel. You know, whenever he has that opportunity on the volley, go for a kill, straight across. Because when you play a straight or cross kill, you play on Samuel's reflexes as compared to his fitness, right? For which we know that, you know, he's super fit, he can go on all day. Yeah, so I'd like him to play some kills, play some drops, take some chances, flicks when he has the chance. But then again, right, you know, he has to get his basics right to move Samuel out of position to get that opportunity. But when he has that chance on that volley, do something with it, you know.
So Marcus, thanks for the insightful analysis of, you know, if you had the opportunity to give Aaron some advice. So let's see whether he actually, during that 2 minutes, he was actually, while he was sitting down, really reflect on his game plan, and let's see whether he actually brings it out during the second game.
Yeah, you know, I mean, Aaron was on his own over the break. You know, not sure if I will see something visibly different in the way he's playing. So yeah, let's see. Skunk's quality of shot is still right there. You know, he's keeping it really nice and straight. His basics is there. I think after a while, you know, when you play a fit player, you get maybe in the middle of the set when the pressure starts to build, the quality of shot drops that ever so slightly. And if that happens to Samuel, I'd like to see Aaron capitalize on that. But you know, Skunk doesn't seem like that's happening anytime soon. Good weighted cross court. Brilliant lob. You know, the way Skunk resets that rally to get himself in front of the opponent is something that people don't give him enough recognition for. Yeah, so that's a good opportunity by Aaron, but his cross was just way too short. Thought that was double. See, that was a nice volley drop by Samuel, right? You know, he knows that he got Aaron out of position, but he just wanted to not make a mistake on that drop. So he plays a higher drop, but keeping it tight so that he moves Aaron to the front, but he knows Aaron is not going to put too much pressure on him. So it's just moving the opponent, but keeping it still very tight and very, very consistent. Yeah, so the way I see Aaron when he plays his bows now, it feels like it's a do or die bows for him. He's going for something just above the tin or something that he hopes is going to hit the nick and he gets a winner out of it. But you know, that shows that the pressure is starting to build on Aaron a little bit.
So Marcus, I think you made a very good point in relation to, you know, when a player is under his own pressure, a mindset that he needs to actually play a much tighter, more winning shot. You know, given that kind of mindset, you know, and obviously you played at that level, but I believe there are a lot of social players online, and we've got a lot of juniors here today as well. You know, what would be your maybe one or two advice when they are playing the game and you know they are faced with this kind of situation? You know, what would your advice be for them?
Well, I think to be attacking, right, it's not only the front two corners of the court. I mean, don't forget that you can play a winner off the back of the court, which actually Samuel gets a lot of winners from there. You know, being a little bit more detailed when you play your drive. Second bounce into the nick at the back corners. Second bounce into the sixth corner, I like to call it, which is in the middle of the court, right? So by doing that, you know, you don't put yourself under so much pressure that I need to play a fantastic drop shot to win a point. You know, there are other areas of the court that you can get a winner from that is 100% consistency rate, right? So I think those are other shots, other selections that you can think about incorporating into your game. You know, just to put that much pressure on your opponent. Like you see that drop shot that Samuel just did, it wasn't played such that it's soft, but he put it a quick drop closer towards the middle of the court that, you know, kind of catch Aaron off guard, and it's very, very consistent. So something like that, I think Samuel was going for the sixth corner over there, a controlled kill, you know, because he knows that Aaron's T position is slightly behind, right? So just putting a control kill into the sixth corner of the court, that is very, very, very effective as well. Yeah, so Samuel playing a controlled volley on that, looking for the second bounce into the back corner nick. So that Aaron, by doing that, actually Aaron has to dig, right? So I think it's good, you know, for a junior or any other player out there to be more detailed in their drives, right? It's not just about hitting to the back, you know. Are you keeping it away from? Is it a lob, a chip down the side wall? Is it second bounce into the nick because you have a opportunity on the mid court? So just thinking a little bit deeper as compared to a drive, as compared to a drop. You know, are you playing a safe one but tight? Are you going for the nick? You know, there are so many variations as compared to that one shot that you're playing. You know, a bows. Are you going for a 2-wall bows? Are you going for a 3-wall bows? That is something that people can think about more. You know, when they play, or maybe it starts from training, right? Yeah.
So Marcus, really thank you for sharing your thoughts. And so that was really a lot of information to take in. Actually, I think for any social player or even a beginner. But I think what you're trying to say to the audience who's either live online or they're going to hear this over a replay is that fundamentally there's a lot more to playing drives, which actually help you to create opportunities, and therefore maybe puts less pressure on you in playing a winning shot in front. Rather than going really low onto the tin when playing a drop shot, you can actually play it higher because your opponent's starting to step back on the tee by forcing them back to the baseline. So effectively, it's something like an art where you are playing different shots to create opportunities and then finishing off without being too stressed about playing the finishing shot. You want to comment on?
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, that's the beauty of squash, because actually there's so many variations that you can do playing with the height of the front wall. And you know, even at the height, great kill by Aaron there. Yeah, as I was saying, you know, even for a professional player like anyone in the circuit, there's so many shots that you can continue to practice and fine-tune your game. Just those finer details, I think that really matters. So that's what keeps it training fun. You know, it's not just rotation drives down the wall all day, right? I mean, if you think a lot deeper about, you know, using height, you know, are you hitting it low and hard? Are you hitting it high and soft to have that opportunity to step up and volley? That makes pretty boring drill, like a rotation drive, a lot more interesting when you think a lot deeper and not just go through the motion, right?
So Marcus, since you've got audiences on watching this live and maybe later, maybe we take a step back and, for example, how would you typically do a drill? For example, when you say like, for example, for me, when I do my drills on the drives, I would set target lines. I will pick my front where I will hit the shot and observe where the ball lands in front with pace and see where the ball lands at the end. But those are me, right? I'll pick a target. When I move forward, for example, a drop drive drill, I will pick a point in front. I'll hit it at different strengths and then I'll watch where the ball lands. Right? How about yourself?
Yeah, I think that's one of the ways that you can put great shot by Aaron over there. I think he's feeling a little bit of the pressure physically, so he's going for winners, which is coming in, staying close to Samuel in this set. Yeah, so you know, to your question, you know, that is some of the it's like a target practice when you do a drill like rotation drives, but I think at the end of the day, you need to think when you, whatever drill that you're doing, you know, what are you trying to work on, right? If you're thinking about being confident on the volley, then I would say maybe chipping it down the wall and trying to step in front a little bit more. So, like for example, you mentioned the target practices. Maybe it's about keeping the ball tight. Oh, I think the ball is good. Yeah, so that's target practice on a rotation drive, which is a fundamental aspect of a rotation drive. But just think about what you want to work on at training, and then you structure the drill accordingly to help you achieve your objective for the day, right? Just alert, I think. Good call by the referee. Great shot. I think that was a great shot by Aaron because he was taking his space well, not to the extent of blocking, and a lot of detail was placed in that drive. You know, he was not overhitting it, aiming for the second bounce into the nick such that Samuel does not have the opportunity to recover. I think that was a poor shot from Aaron, right? You know, he needs to mentally be ready for another long rally. You know, he just put in an excellent rally, and off the first opportunity, he went for a really fine drop, where maybe it was a high but tight drop, you know, such that Samuel would probably need to dig a lot more. So I think Aaron, you know, from the last rally and the start of this rally, I can see that, you know, physically, he's under a lot of pressure, guessing a little bit. Good detail into that straight drive by Samuel. Great shot. Ooh. So Aaron will be looking to take some chances right now. And if it comes in, you know, Aaron might be able to sneak this set. But it's tough because, yeah, that's another shot, right, where Aaron is just playing so fine because he's under pressure to do so. He needed that to come in. 9-7 and 8-all is very different. Oh, good call, good call. So let's see whether Aaron is able to sneak in a couple of winners. But you know, Samuel is playing like a pro still. You know, he's keeping everything super tight and consistent. And when Samuel plays his drives, right, it's always slightly below the red line. So it makes it very difficult for the opponent to volley, right? Anything that's on the volley is not on shoulder height, it's always slightly below. So even if you want to volley, your control got to be really good. Good defense by Aaron. Oh, he's got to cover that. Oh, no lead, I think. Oh, I think Samuel is probably lucky to get a lead on that. It was very, very minimal interference. He was probably hoping to get a stroke because he might be feeling a little bit of pressure right now.
Slowly cracking. Chips.
Yeah.
Aaron may be chipping at Sky.
Yeah, I think both players will be pretty nervous right now. 1-all and 2 left. Going to the third set is very, very different. Yes, lad, I think. Good call by the ref.
Both players know that this is a critical point.
Yeah. Not wide enough on that cross. Aaron really needs this one. Fine margins in this set. Aaron is slightly under pressure in this rally. You can see that whenever he's taking Samuel's cross, it's always off the back foot. Oh, that's clearly down since it got stuck. No. Oh, fine margins. He really needed that. I think it was the right shot, but just didn't come in. Yeah. Maybe the pressure of sneaking in that volley drop to get to 10-8 made him play a little bit too fine. Great shot by Samuel. I think that's the fine margins, the difference, right? Samuel on such a big point is able to play very controlled, tight drop, but Aaron maybe felt like the pressure of sneaking in this set got to him a little bit. So I think that's probably why you see when it's a really close match, maybe the higher seeded player plays slightly better on the big points, and that 2 rallies was a good example of that. Yeah, definitely. Samuel probably played with a lot of players whereby he knows that he needs to structure such a long rally just to win 1 point. And he's got to be able to back it up with another rally like that and not make a simple mistake off the next one. So he's got to cover. And Samuel is playing the same rally at 10-9 as compared to Lovell in each set. Great straight drive by Aaron, very weighted,
And I know this is style of play is game number 2, right? In my mind, I have a question, right? Because in game number 2 and game number 1, the style of play of Samuel, like you mentioned earlier, hasn't really changed. He's got strong structuring of his game, straight lines, cutting off, not providing any angles for Aaron, right? And playing such very strong basic players can be tough, but at the same time it can be quite predictable. But I don't see Aaron being creative with this fact of knowing that Samuel's going to bring the ball back all the time. He has the options of taking it early to actually change the pace of the game. But you don't see that really happening. What's your assessment of that?
Well, I think being steady and playing at a fast pace is also Aaron's game, right? So he's still doing what he does best. So it's just about maybe hanging in there and breaking Samuel down. Oh, that's a bit too short. I would love to see him play a weighted one all the way to the back, but he got away with it. Things are getting interesting right now. It's 1-1. And I'm sure Samuel is feeling the physical aspect of this match as well. But we know Samuel is able to back this up for the next 3 sets. Aaron, I think he can, but let's not forget he had a tough match yesterday. Samuel probably, based on the scoreline, he had an easier route to the final. and you can see Aaron breathing really hard after the end of the second set. But great performance in the second set by Aaron.
I think just based on the duration of Game 1 and Game 2, I think Game 2 was a lot longer than Game 1. And I think observations of Aaron and Skang are quite spot on. I do believe that Samuel, right? Or we so, how do you say? We always call him Skang. Samuel, I think one of his game plans always has been with the younger ones and the juniors, right, is to try to treat the player and make him feel a lot of pain. Given that the second game is also long, I do believe with his experience, right, he will continue the same approach in game number 3 and really test Aaron's physical aspect to the game. I'm not too sure how Aaron's going to stack up to that.
Yeah, I mean, as I was saying earlier, Samuel is a pro. He plays on the tour, so he is ready to do this for 5 sets. Aaron, maybe thinking he's got this at 1-0. He might, if I were him, and if I'm physically tired, right, I might just want to take some chances in this third set, especially at the start. And if I get a good lead, maybe I have that slight boost to push through the third set to get to 2-1. So I think whether Aaron is able to start off strong will determine how this set turns out. If he's behind, some of his winners doesn't come in, he might think about, let's aim for the 4th set. So I think the first half of the set will be decisive. Yeah. But it's a very different mental state, definitely, right? 1-0, 2-0, and just the way the match is progressing, there's a lot of ways that you can tweak your game plan. Just a little bit loose there. Good rally by Samuel. A lot of work being done by Aaron here. Go. Right shot though. So those are the rallies, right, that Aaron really needs to find the winner. It's fine margins, right? It's a right shot. See him going again off the serve. So slightly slower to the front now, Aaron. So I think Samuel is also starting to feel the pressure. He's made 2 mistakes in this set, even though he was on the ball. So even though he's still in control, but some errors are starting to creep in, like the end of the second set. If he was slightly fitter or not feeling the pressure that much, he might have resetted the rally. But just some wrong shot selection coming in by Samuel. Fantastic cross court by Samuel. I think Samuel will be looking to get a strong start in this third set as well, right? You know, he wants Aaron to, you know, as I was saying, feel like he might maybe give up this third set. So when you see Samuel controlling the tee, he doesn't really overhit the volley. He's still trying to keep it as weighted as possible so that, you know, his opponent is still digging from the back. So Aaron trying to get the ball past Samuel, still doing a good job. Here's the angle.
You know, I think like you mentioned that Samuel is really a pro and he's keeping the balls high. You know, he's playing high percentage shots. And I think sometimes at this level, or like we mentioned, the third game is very critical for both of them. And I think they can actually use their games to send, you know, strong messages. And like you rightly pointed us, Samuel is sending a very strong message to Aaron is, if you really want this set, you've got to really work for it. But I think at the same time, if Aaron wanted to send a message to Samuel, you know, there are certain shots that he could have played earlier, you know, and put pressure on the shot, and maybe a message to Sam that, yeah, I'm tired, but I'm willing to take that risk to push you, you know, to the front. Not play really high risky shots, but you know, I'm gonna make you work as well for this kind of game.
Yeah, you know, you're absolutely right. I think everyone, both of them, right, needs to show to each other that I'm willing to take some punches. I'm willing to take the hit, right? I'm not looking for freebies. So Aaron is like slightly out of position. Yeah, so Aaron is getting a good small lead over here, but it's critical for him to push himself to secure the third set. Yeah, and you know, maybe get some nerves into Samuel as well. See that? So I was talking about being slightly more detailed in every shot. So Samuel, when he plays that cross, he's aiming for it to be weighted. It's not just a cross. It is not overheated, but you know, it's weighted low and second bounce into the neck. Yeah, so those are fine details that Samuel is actually putting into his shot.
I think that's some of the lessons that you know. I think one of the statements that you made and comments about, you know, weighted shots, you know, and then the details, the attention to details, and I think it all starts with your intent of playing the shot. So I think there's a lesson that actually all players in squash, right, whatever level you're at, you know, social, or you know, you're a club player, you play in the leagues, or even if you just love you know, playing competitive squash at any level, you know, as long as you have the intent and you play the shot according to the intent, I think that's a lesson that all of us can learn.
Yeah, definitely right. I mean, just being able to think about it is important. You know, then slowly put into practice to execute that under pressure. Yeah, Aaron is keeping that 2-point lead. As we get closer to the business end of the set, go. So these are the rallies, right, that he really needs it to come in. 7-4 and 6-5. 5-6 is very different. But then again, right, you know, if I'm Aaron, I would have gone for that shot because I have that buffer, right? Why not take some chances? Good weighted cross. But Samuel is still playing a lot to the back, right? I mean, 90% of his shots is to the back. Even when he have the opportunity like that. Just making the court look so big for Aaron right now, even though he's keeping it very safe. You know, maybe because he's slightly behind, can't afford to open up the court. Because, you know, when you play such a quick opponent like Aaron, when you put it to the front, he's able to go in quick and play a straight off the split, right? So a tight drop there that set it up. Yeah, you know, when he played that drop, he was not looking for that shot to be the winner. It was the next shot because he knows Aaron is going to kind of like dig it up and he put it away. So, yeah, he played, yeah, you know, off that boast, he knows that Aaron is deep at the back. So, shorten his swing, play a quick drop for Aaron to kind of like scoop it up, and the next shot will be the winner. Yeah. Nice weighted cross. Ooh. That was 50-50 call, I think. I can understand why the ref gave a stroke, but could very well easily be a let. Yeah. So you can see the way Skunk plays, right? When it was 5-6, he kept everything to the back. When he was 7-6 up, he went for his kill because, you know, I think it's a little bit of game management, a little bit of experience, you know. At different points of the set, whether you're behind or ahead, you know, you play the match a little bit differently, you play the rally a little bit differently. Aaron is slightly struggling. Go. Great shot, great shot. You see, this is what I was in a way talking about earlier, whereby, you know, if you go for a kill straight or cross, you work on Samuel's reflexes. If he had played a little bit deeper, Samuel would have lunged to the back and keep it going a little bit more, right? So put in some kills, you know, work on Samuel's reflexes and agility rather than, you know, dragging it a little bit longer. Yeah, but, you know, he went for that, but, you know, he did it right from the back of the court. So, good get. Like that, right? Slightly played a tight drop. Samuel's counter drop was sitting up. And the ball is slightly above the tin, right? Go. Crucial mistake by Samuel. Samuel going for some winners. I mean, Aaron is really doing well, you know, hanging in there really well. Good to see. Good lob by Samuel to reset the rally. I mean, Aaron is doing really well defensively, right? You know, cross-court lobs, straight lobs, chipping it down. Samuel resetting the rally, staying in front again. Good weighted cross. Go. I thought there was an opportunity for him to put in a kill maybe. Oh, tough set. I mean, Aaron is not giving this game lightly to Samuel.
Which I think is a very good signal to Samuel.
Yeah,
He's
and
willing to stay in every game.
and I think it shows how far Aaron has improved. Right, you know, this is the third set off the back of a tough semi-final, and yet, you know, he's showing Samuel that, you know, physically I'm able to sustain with you. And, you know, sometimes this plays on your opponent's mind for future matches as well, because the last time I played with this opponent, it's like, yeah, at the end of second or third set, I know this guy is going to break. But right now, you know, Samuel knows that, you know, next time I play with Aaron, if he's going to sneak the first two sets, I'm in trouble, because physically I can sustain. And it's really high quality match so far. I think Aaron is doing really well. And his fine margins, right? 11-9 in the third set. It could have gone either way. You know, if one of those winners that he went for in the middle of the set were to come in, you know, the game changes so quickly. And all credit to Aaron on that.
So ladies and gentlemen, we take a break while the guys are resting. We have to also rest. We'll come back in a short while.
Aaron taking some chances straight off the serve. I think Aaron, most importantly, must not let Samuel get into a good lead in this set, right? Mentally, it will take a toll on Aaron if Samuel has a good lead. Good drop. And I think Samuel is tweaking his game plan a little bit. You know, he's throwing in some quick drops off the start of the set. Because, you know, sometimes when you come back into court, you could, you know, you lose a little bit of momentum, right? And sometimes it's a good tactic to just throw in one or two balls here and there, you know, just to keep the opponent, catch him off guard a little bit. So that shot that Aaron was playing is a controlled cue into the sixth corner, which is something that you know, everyone can incorporate in their game. It's a safe cue. Don't really need to play a fine drop. Something that you can win a point from as well. So Aaron talking to himself a little bit. You know, you can see the, you know, maybe he's second guessing whether he can sustain physically. You know, he's there on the ball, but you know, sometimes the shot selection is not on point.
When he rushes, thinking that the opportunity is there and he rushes his shots.
Yeah.
concept of whether you play 100% on the shot or you play 80% on the shot.
Yeah, you know.
It's a total difference.
Into the sixth corner, good shot by Aaron. I think we see no lets being given on a shot like that, but sometimes it creates a situation by, you know, both players tend to block a little bit when they have an opportunity on the mid court. So I think a referee's fantastic job by Samuel. So I think a referee has a difficult job in terms of managing the match such that, you know, I want to reward you if you play a good shot off a loose shot, right? But then again, not to the extent that everybody is like blocking whenever it's a mid-court shot. But I think the ref is doing a good job so far. Yeah. Oh, fantastic shot by Samuel. Aaron going for a deeper length. See, the way Samuel resets that rally is fantastic. His lobs is so underrated, right? So even if Aaron gets the ball back, it's a back wall, or, you know, Samuel is stepping up again, right? Coming off the side wall a little bit on Aaron's length, but that's because Samuel is making him play off the back foot so much. Good shot. I think it's good to see Aaron not going in short on the volley so quickly. But it's a fine balance, right? Because sometimes you don't go for your shot and you end up losing that rally. You might just kick yourself for not going for the winner.
So far, all the volleys that he's playing are high and wide, so it doesn't give Samuel any opportunity to actually take the ball, but only to keep the rally going.
Yeah.
Next opportunity.
You see, I think that volley that Aaron did was an opportunity, but he wasn't detailed enough. It came off the back wall so high, right? I think, you know, if he played it a little bit shorter and Samuel has to dig, that was an opportunity. At this level, that is an opportunity which Samuel is being able to, you know, play it to slightly more detail. So I think, yeah, that was a missed opportunity for Aaron. That rally, you know. So sometimes, you know, Samuel, he probably plays it to the back a lot more from the front. So sometimes that's another way is, you know, put in a good drop. You know, Samuel is going to play that cross, hunt for that cross, right? Which is what Aaron did over there. So a small angle to go for a straight kill, but Samuel, you know, still defending very well. See, very weighted, you know, drive. See, Aaron is putting to the front, yes, but, you know, always on the back foot. But good balls over there. Slightly cramping up, I think. Very wide cross. I think that was on purpose, right? It was deliberate to make it wide because he knows that Aaron is probably trying to cut it off. So, you know, when you play that post, you have to cover that diagonal. Go. So Samuel needs to be careful when he plays to the front, right? He knows his opponent is struggling, but Aaron has such good hands that, you know, if it's a slightly loose ball to the front, he can do some damage. Oh. Aaron going for a tactical tower break right now. But I think he needs more than just 10 seconds.
Yeah, I think Skunk's going to exploit the movement of Aaron.
Yeah, and you see what that small gesture that Samuel did, right? Pointing to his head. You know, he knows that Aaron is struggling, but, you know, he's telling himself, you know, just to keep it disciplined still. Oh, I think that's probably a let, right? Because Samuel wasn't really ready. He was on the stretch. I think Samuel is managing the game very well, right? You know, he's still keeping it deep. He knows that even if I'm gonna lose the next 2 or 3 points, it's an investment, right?
I think with a 5-point lead, right, Samuel will continue to work Aaron's legs and make it as painful as possible.
Definitely, right? You know, he knows that physically he's able to sustain, you know. But maybe, yeah, he can take some chances also.
I think if 5 match balls, Samuel can take a couple of chances.
Definitely. Yeah, but, you know, great showing by Aaron. I think he should be very proud of his performance, you know. You know, fighting right to the end. I think that's the kind of spirit that we want to see from, you know, our national players, right? You know, fighting until he can barely stand. I think that's how everyone, you know, who is training consistently, you know, should approach each match, even though, you know, you might not be the winner. Yeah.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, both of them left their heart up there.
Yeah, I think it wasn't easy for Samuel as well, and I think he knows that Aaron is actually slowly creeping up to his level. But huge congratulations to Samuel. I think it's his fifth title, but 4th consecutive title. Well deserved, but a lot of compliments to Aaron as well for a very entertaining match.
So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for staying with us here at the Kallang Squash Center for the Marigold National Championships. We are going to go for the prize giving at this point in time, so stay put and stay with us.
So those are the third and fourth places for the women's. And ex-president of the Singapore Squash Association, Patrick, will give away the women's winners. Very entertaining match. Bayon and Gracia, so the winner and the finalist. And now we have the men's. Marcus who beat Timothy Leong to finally finish off third in the third and fourth placing. And for the fifth time in a row, we will see Samuel Kang, and that's a sixth total national trophies. And we'll see him walk out as the winning finalist, the winner of the Marigold National Championships 2021. And he'll be joined by Aaron Liang, who lost a brave final, 1-3. To really a man who's not a man but a machine. And a word for our sponsors who have made this all possible. and to all of you who have joined us over the last 2 days to witness and enjoy some really entertaining and spectacular squash. We thank you for allowing us into your homes. It's been a wonderful tournament. And everyone extremely happy to have some live sport. Coming back here in Singapore. And so that's it from the Kallang Squash Center. It's been wonderful having you. Thank you for joining us.